Tornadoes in December are not unheard of by any means. There are records of twisters hitting this time of year as far back as the 1940s and 50s, and some in just the past 10 years. But forecasters say none of those previous outbreaks were this violent or deadly. Meteorologist Bill Caron's live with us now. Bill, I know they're still trying to work out the intensity, but there's a chance that this series of storms breaks some records in terms of power and path.
Yeah, without a doubt, Tyler. I mean, we're still getting the numbers in. We've already had 26 confirmed tornadoes, and we know that at least 5 of them have been what we consider EF5 tornadoes, and I'll explain that to you in a second. But the first thing, the big thing that just stands out is the number of fatalities that we had when the governor came out this afternoon of Kentucky and said that they have 74 fatalities. This makes this tornado the second deadliest in Kentucky history already. And with dozens more missing, we know this is going to go up to number 1 eventually. And look at the years. Not only were they in the springtime, but we're 1890, 1917, 1917, and 1925. So in the modern era where we have technology to warn us, this is an incredibly high number of fatalities, and it's not like this was a surprise. They had about a 25-minute lead time in the Mayfield area when that tornado came through. Now, as far as the FUJITA scale goes, that EF3 that hit the Amazon facility, that had 165-mile-per-hour winds, but we didn't see any EF4, EF5s. As you said, we're waiting for that survey to come back from the Paducah National Weather Service, which covers the Mayfield area, and there is a good chance that's at least an EF4. We haven't had an EF5 in this country in 8.5 years. We'll wait and see.
Anytime there's severe weather these days, obviously there's the question of whether climate change plays a role. It's hard to say with tornadoes, right? But we have been experiencing a warmer than normal winter in many parts of the country.
Yeah, a lot of people ask you, how can we have this in December? Well, we haven't been having December weather. If you've been paying attention to the weather in the lower 48, it's been October-like warmth. I mean, it's been incredibly warm. And right before this event hit, the temperatures were in the 70s and 80s. It was 80 degrees in Memphis on Friday. The warm air was coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. It was humid. You could see all the little red icons. That's where all the tornadoes were reported. And you could see it was right where the temperatures were 25 degrees warmer than it should be this time of year. So it's not a surprise. You can get severe weather outbreaks in the fall. You know, it's just we haven't had December-type weather. And the climate change angle of this gets a little more complex. This isn't as easy to attribute this to climate change as, say, hurricane intensity or heat waves or droughts. Tornadoes are small. They're very minuscule compared to the size of a hurricane. So we don't really know if they're getting more intense or if they're getting more of them. But Tornado Alley has been changing more towards the southeast and away from Oklahoma and Texas. So that has been a trend. And we know it's warmer in winter. So at least, if you do the math on this, it is possible to get more of these events in the wintertime. But at this point, the science, Tyler, does not tell us that we're seeing an increased number of tornadoes or the intensity because of climate change. This one, we were very, very unlucky. It was extremely warm, and this was an intense tornado that was on the ground for at least 150 miles.
Am I right or wrong, but do tornadoes occur more often at night?
The deadly ones happen at night, and that's why you hear about them more. You're twice as likely to have fatalities at night than we are during the day,
right? Because
we just don't have the lead time. Storm chasers aren't out there, can see them visually as well. And if people are asleep or in their beds, they're not paying attention to the alerts on TV or radio. So, yes, nighttime tornadoes are by far the most deadly and dangerous.